Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Cartersville City Council to order. If you'll please stand, we'll have our invocation and our pledge.
Let us pray. Loving God, creator of all of us, we give thanks that we live in this place for leisure, for learning, and for work, and to share in a sense of community. Help us to appreciate our history, which gives character to our place. Guide all elected persons who serve, especially this council as we meet to do the people's business, to the honor and glory of your name. Amen.
Let us recite the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Keeling, the pledge, please. Excuse me. We already heard you say the pledge. How about the roll?
I'll behave. Carrie Hodge, Ward 1. Jay Stipp, Ward 2.
Here.
Louis Toshmeyer, Ward 3.
Here.
Lindsay McDaniel, Ward 4.
here.
Diane Tate, Ward 5.
Here.
Lori Pruitt, Ward 6.
Thank you very much, Connie. Our first order of business tonight is the approval of the council meeting minutes from our April 18th meeting. Council, you've had these well in advance of tonight, and Chair will entertain any edits, corrections, or motions.
Mayor, I didn't see any additions or corrections. Make a motion to approve.
Second that.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And the minutes are approved unanimously. We have a couple of kind of neat things to do tonight. First is the recognition of our Teachers of the Year with the full room. I'll run the risk of embarrassing myself or others. Is there anybody from the school central office to represent the teachers? All right then, I'll take care of this. Teachers of the Year for 2014, but we're going to recognize you this year. I'm not really sure how that works out, but congratulations. And the following teachers were named Teachers of the Year at their respective schools. For Cartersville Primary School, Paige Robbins. For Cartersville Elementary School, Rachel Phillips. For Cartersville Middle School, Debbie Justice. And for Cartersville High School, Michelle Stone. I have a resolution for each of you that I will read, and then I'll present these to you, if that's all right. And Michelle, I promised your brother Andrew that I would not go into any horrible stories about you and running around with my sister-in-law, Tammy, several years ago. I certainly have a lot of stories that I could go into, but I don't think that's going to do either one of us any good. For each of the teachers, it says, whereas this teacher has been named Teacher of the Year at their school, that their personal dedication and sincere concern for the quality education has made them an asset to the school system, and whereas their leadership has provided a vital service for the children of Cartersville, and whereas it is the desire of the city of Cartersville to honor the most valuable teacher, now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Cartersville that because of their dedication and excellent performance of service, that this means be taken to honor them and being selected for the Teacher of the Year 2014 for their respective school. Let's give them a round of applause. And now the downside of that is you have to have your picture taken with me as I present these. And if I can get Paige Robbins, please. I'm going to try not to break them. Stand right here. Everybody else watch. You teachers, this is how we're all going to do this. You're doing great. Thank you. Congratulations. Debbie Justice with Cartersville Middle School. Rachel Phillips from Cartersville Elementary School. Michelle Stone. And Richard, if we would just take just a moment, I know that everybody's here wants to sit through the rest of the meeting. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds or so. Thank you for coming and welcome back.
Sam, how'd your meeting go? Was it fun?
Oh,
That shine?
I'll tell you,
Was it good?
it's interesting.
He's in his happy place. All right, Richard, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. By declaring National Preservation Month's 2013 theme, See It, Save It, Celebrate It, communities like Cartersville, which are filled with historic treasures, will be celebrating. The National Trust for Historic Preservation has encouraged communities to reach out to our growing audience of neighbors, tourists, and preservationists by promoting historic places in our community, and encourage newcomers to learn more about Cartersville's local preservation efforts. If you will, please read our proclamation.
And I'll congratulate you. Those were long sentences, but that was 3 sentences.
Very
Richard
good.
Burrell, if you're talking.
Very good, Richard.
He told us in work session he would say 2 or 3 sentences, and we challenged him. I'm happy to read this proclamation that says that whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for encouraging community reinvestment, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability, and whereas historic preservation is relevant for communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages, all walks of life, and all ethnic backgrounds. Whereas See, Save, Celebrate is the theme for National Historic Preservation Month 2013, co-sponsored by the Cartersville Historic Preservation Commission and the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And whereas the City of Cartersville is a treasure trove of historical resources, including properties in the Downtown Business District, Cherokee-Cassville Historic District, Granger Hill Historic District, Old Town Historic District, and the West End Historic District. And whereas historic preservation is economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable, fostering a culture of reuse and maximizing the life cycle of all resources through conservation. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of the heritage that has shaped the city of Cartersville and us as a people. Now, therefore, I, Matthew J. Santini, Mayor of Cartersville, Georgia, do proclaim May 2013 as National Historic Preservation Month and call upon the people of Cartersville to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing in this observance.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next item is the Preservation Awards, and for each of these 3 projects, these are substantial. So we will not go into details. I would ask you to speak with these individuals about all the work that they have done. I'll now turn it over to our chair, Denise Archer, of the Historic Preservation Commission.
Thank you, and happy Preservation Month. This is a celebration that's going on all over the nation, not just here in Cartersville, but we are so blessed in Cartersville. In fact, we want to thank you very much for sending us to historic preservation training each and every year, and we just returned from Milledgeville this past weekend, which was just a fabulous experience. And Cartersville stands out among all of the communities because we have over 600 properties in our historic preservation districts. So thank you very much for your support. And we want to thank so much our homeowners and business owners who have shown such significant zeal over the past year we want to especially call your attention to 3 of these property owners who have done just outstanding jobs. With me are our Historic Preservation Commission members, Valerie Holt, our newest Preservation Commission member, Lilia Johnson and Larry Gregory, and they will assist me in making these awards to our recipients. The first is commercial property, and Bowen will come up from Cahutta Fishing Company, and he has, I wish we had time to do the before and after on these projects because they are just spectacular. So Andy, if you would come up, and may I have our commission members come up as well.
Excuse me, Ms. Denny's, for these award recipients, if you have additional people with you, like Andy, if you have others, please, everyone associated with the project and the company and the home, come on up.
I was gonna ask you that, absolutely. I brought my whole crowd.
Woo, very good. We'll just, Rebecca, you're in charge of that. Look, you gotta get in front. We just have to bunch up. Everybody's got to be very snug. Come over here, y'all gotta get snug. Really snug. We don't want to high hurdle in. They're tall. Thank you very much. And y'all stay right here. Our next recipient is Vandy White and Harry White for their property that is on Lee Street. And we do have a before and after on this project, and you can see the significant difference in this property. Thank you so much for your, come right over here so that you're in the picture too. We'll get really snug in here. And we're trying to make them friends, but thank you so much. Thank you. Our next recipient is on West Avenue, and the Ellingtons have just done a remarkable job with this home. And so we had commercial property, a rental property, and now a private residence, and they have
Oh, I know
done
that. I know,
most
you know
of this
that.
work. They're very own selves, a lot of sweat equity in that. So we thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Denise. And thank you to all the award winners for your investment in our community and a job well done in enhancing our little corner of the world. And just like I did for the people with the schools before, actually, y'all have to stay.
No.
And Richard, appreciate your hard work in representing the city on that committee, and for a job well done on that. We have a couple of public hearings and second readings tonight. Mr. Menino, if you'll start us off with SU 13-01.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, as you mentioned, this is the second reading. There have been no additions or changes since the first reading. This is a special use request for Ms. Alston for a personal care home located in a general commercial zoning district. It's located at 178 South Morningside Drive. As I noted, there have been no changes since the first reading. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of this application. The applicant is here if there are any questions for her. Again, I believe we may have covered everything during the first reading.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Menino at this point? And seeing none, I'll open up a public hearing relative to case SU 13-01. Anybody wishing to step forward, speak for or against may do so at this time. And seeing none step forward, I will close the public hearing and ask council for their consideration. Any further discussion, questions, or motions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Next item, please, Randy.
Yes, the next item is a zoning request. This is case number Z13-01 for Mr. John Waters. This property is located at 6 Porter Street. The front half of this property is currently zoned industrial. It is a split zoning. His desire is to have the entire property with one zoning district on it. With that, again, this is a second reading. There have been no additions or changes since the first reading. Planning Commission did hear this and did recommend it to you for approval. Mr. Waters is here. If there are any questions for Mr. Waters?
Okay, any questions for Mr. Menino at this point? And seeing none, I'll open up a public hearing relative to case Z13-01. Anybody wishing to step forward, speak for or against may do so at this time.
Yeah.
And seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, and the chair will entertain any further discussion or any questions or any motions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Randy. Next item, Mr. Reinhardt, you have that item.
I'm the mayor and council. Attached, you have the annually Wilkins Youth Summer Contract. This is for the program for basketball. If you remember, the funding on this is kind of split between 2 fiscal years, part of this year, part of next year. We did ask them for, or we did suggest a change in the language of the contract. We would like them to provide us with a written contract indicating that they have the use of approved basketball gymnasium. If they can provide that before we make the first payment, we'll go ahead and honor the contract, and if not, we will not honor the contract. We have all the E-Verify, E-Save documentation in hand.
Okay. Any questions for Tom on this item?
When is the first payment due?
First payment is due around the 7th of June.
Of June?
Yes.
Is there any further discussion? And if there isn't, a motion would be in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Tom.
If you would, there was one question on page 58 of the agenda on the contract. It's got the contact person is to be Roberta Green, is that correct?
No, that's not.
Yeah.
That's from part-time access.
Right, so we probably need to have them amend that and put in the correct contact there.
Can I get credit for that?
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
I actually read something.
Yes.
I was reading it and I voted yes.
Your
and I
book
don't
must,
even know
your book
why.
must have fallen
Yes,
To that page.
yes.
Divine
Yeah.
intervention.
That was a Jay Steps catch and recommendation.
Does that require any cleanup motions or
I think y'all
whatnot?
should have a motion to authorize the amendment of the contract for the correct contact person to be put in there.
Would
I
you
make
like?
a motion of what he just said.
All right.
I'll second it.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. And thank you, Keith, and thank you, Jace.
See, we actually talk about business over here.
Next item, please, Mr. Porter.
The contract agreement with the risk information systems. Currently, we are conducting our utility billing in-house, and we're in need of a new 50 Bose mailing machine. Request that we use Arista Information Systems to outsource utility billing and mailing of that function. It will save us cost of the new machine and also save us some internal costs as well from postages because they get discounted postage and envelopes. So there is no initial cost if we have a contract longer than a year as a product and work session. But I think this is something that will also help our customers because we'll be able to do electronic bill presentment. Customers sign up electronically, they can receive the bill electronically at their convenience. Recommend approval.
When would you expect this system to be in place? I know when people hear that, they're going to say, oh, good, when can I get my bill electronically?
It'll probably take about 60 days for our IT department to work with their IT department to get everything up and running.
Okay,
So probably by July 1st at the latest.
thank you. Any other discussion or questions about this item? And if seeing none, a motion would be in order.
Motion to accept the contract.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Continue on, please, Dan.
Yes, sir. The next contract is with a company called Facility Dude. It will help electronically or us to take care of tracking and analyzing utility consumption. We had the energy efficiency grant about 2 years ago and new updated equipment put in several buildings. This will help allow Tom Quist to work with this company to analyze that data and see if we're doing, making sure we're trying to do everything as energy efficiency as possible. As outlined in the work session by legal counsel, page 6 of the contract where it says general, just needs to be accepted if you agree to accept this contract to add and Cartersville to that part of the contract. There's no cost for this first 12 months on this agreement.
Any discussion? And if not, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Dan, again, this is at no cost to the city for this first year. No risk, no cost.
That's right.
Sorry?
No risk, no
No,
cost.
that is correct.
Thank you. Mayor, I'm ready to make a motion with a change in the contract to add Rome and Cartersville respectively. So I make a motion as amended.
Thank you. Second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again, Dan. Mr. Geisen, step forward.
The Public Works Department requests your permission to purchase a case asphalt roller and trailer from the state of Georgia. Equipment contract for $41,604. This unit will replace one that's been in service since 1972 that's no longer usable or repairable due to mechanical issues and parts availability.
Okay. Any questions on this item?
I have a question. Jeff, you and I talked after the work session. Is it your understanding that this is the same machine used by Georgia Department of Transportation?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And it has a little extra something that some of the others do not. It's a,
This one has a feature that vibrates, which packs the asphalt more densely. The older unit that we had did not have that option.
and it's your thought that buying through the state that will do volume is giving us a much better price?
Yeah, Mr. Sanders mentioned that it would give us a significant discount, yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? If not, a motion would be in order.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion to second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Mr. Reinhardt, I believe you're going to take us the rest of the way here.
Mayor and council, the municipal court was recently defloored of the asbestos flooring, and we are in need of renovations, and we're ready to move on with renovations. The renovations include changing out the men's bathroom and making it into a record retention room, some electrical additions and replacement, building the judge's platform, and removal of the salad port outside. Renovations were not a budgeted item for this current year, but we feel that the expansion is badly needed. I did meet with 3 local contractors, walked through the project with them, presented them with the layout as is presented in your packet, along with the description. Questions were asked, clarifications were made. Of those 3, I only received 1 back from Earl Hightower Construction in the amount of $48,400. I talked with Mr. Hightower and asked him to try to do his best to keep the acoustical ceiling tile along with the existing light structures. He's informed me that he will do his best, but he can't guarantee anything. I'm asking the council to approve the contract not to exceed the $48,400. All E-Verify and E-Save documents have been received in our email.
Mr. Reinhardt,
Yes.
I believe the ADA compliance for the front doors is not included in
That
this
is not
project.
included, because I did not know about that until after we'd already met. I have.
Will that
since
be included in the companion project that Mr. Porter's going to be bringing to us in the next meeting, I think, on the probation staff renovations? Because that needs to be done.
I had discussed it with Mr. Hightower along with Tommy Sanders, and we are working to get that going also.
Okay,
Thank you.
So it will be included, but it's not part of this
right.
bid award.
Correct.
Okay.
And that wasn't me, that was all he.
Thank you for clarifying.
Mayor, I have a
Go
question.
right ahead.
No, actually, it was all Mr. Grove.
Mr. Reinhardt, it's indicated here that this is an unbudgeted item, will be paid for by administrative fees. Have those already been collected, or
We
how?
have been collecting them since July the 1st, yes, ma'am.
So that's available for this, right?
And I will mention that Chief Culpepper had actually come to me, gosh, it was over a year ago, to ask for help in helping to secure some state labor to get this done. Our local delegation was very responsive in bringing that, and helping make that happen. It just so happens that the time frame that we would be able to have that done is going to go beyond July 1st, and we simply can't wait. So we did make every effort to do that, and there was a lot of folks that put an effort, including our chief, and just wanted to recognize that. So, Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Honorable Mayor, the next item I have is some bid awards. Several departments need some vehicles. Staff has requested that all bids be rejected because the local vendors were not included in the bid process.
Okay. That would require a motion by council to reject all bids and start the process.
Make a motion to reject all bids and to rebid the items.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Final item, Tom.
Last item, Honorable Mayor and Council, is surplus equipment. We have some equipment, mainly computer equipment and vehicles that we have deemed as being surplus, to hold and live out their useful life. We will actually advertise them for Mr. Lovell's request for a period of time. After we get approval tonight, we'll advertise them, and then we'll actually advertise them on good deals to be sold or to be used as scrap metal, sold as scrap metal.
Any discussion on these surplus items? And as
What's the age on these automobiles? I'm not concerned about the other stuff.
Some of them range back to 1999 or a little bit earlier than that.
Earlier?
Yes.
99, that's not too bad.
can Lindsay test drive any of these? Is that?
You're welcome to, yes.
I tried.
And then I guess it's not really doesn't need to be included in the motion, but Mr. Lovell, you were saying that these need to be
He said-
advertised on GovDeals?
He
Yes.
said that he would
Thank
do
you.
it.
Mr.
I
Reinhardt
apologize.
remembered that and said that.
I noticed in the paper.
That's good. That was when I wasn't paying attention. Thank you. That being said, if there's any other discussion, I'll entertain that. If not, a motion would be in order.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Is there any other business that needs to come before council this evening? All right. If there's none, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn. If there's nothing else to add, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Adjourn.